do a quick look at the mini mating nukes from, I think it's Benefitbee is who the manufacturer is, but they make a styrofoam one and a plastic one. And the entrances are pretty much the same, so they have the regular entrance that so you can be open, closed, or queen excluder entrance. And the dial does the same thing, it's off. It does have ventilation though, which is nice, so you can turn it to ventilation, the holes at the top, and then queen excluder, and then full open or full closed. And I will say this piece slides right out of the box. So that you can paint it without getting paint on that. Yeah, so that slides straight out the bottom, and it's actually in there very tight. I was kind of worried that they would be falling out. Here's a different one I have. It's red. It doesn't have the entrance in it yet. Put it over here. So I can explain some of the stuff I like and don't like about each. I have not used these yet, first of all. I need to say that. This is styrofoam. This is more like what most queen breeders use, so you get a little more thermal insulation value. Here's the top. These cavities, I believe, are for pollen patties. And this is just kind of the top of the queen cell when the queen cell sits in there. I don't have everything in here right now, but it comes with a feeder. This feeder has a queen excluder. It has a little float, and it has an extra slide gate and an extra wheel. I'm not sure why you'd need those, but when this goes in, it is snug. And one thing I worry about these small ones is small hive beetles, but if you look at the gaps, there's no gaps for small hive beetles all the way around, which I like that. It also does have the bottom where you can open it up and dump the bees in. And it's actually the exact same door that's on this one, so they're identical. And then it has the frames that go in, and the pictures of the frames are 3-piece frames, but I don't know if these are new or upgraded, but they actually have a little piece of plastic foundation in there, so I just need to wax those to get them started. And then again, it comes with 4 frames. I have them set out to be waxed. I'm not going to put them all back in, but it also comes with a kind of like a clear inner cover. And then this flips open so that you can put your queen cell in there, and then if this happens to be the other direction, it'll be there, and that's what corresponds to these 2 holes here. So, like that one. This one, I got this on eBay, but it was about $17. If you get these directly from places in China, they're much cheaper. And on the back side, there's nothing. It is solid. And again, the bottom is either vented, or you can slide it, push it in and make it solid, or you can slide it all the way out and then dump the bees in. So that's the styrofoam one. Again, a little cheaper. I think thermodynamics wise, this one's probably gonna be better because it's insulated. Now this one is not. It's sort of a hollow plastic. The little tabs flip up, and they're actually on there pretty tight. Pretty hard to get off. I'm not sure if that'll change with age or not, but and then same top. So you've got sort of the place for the pollen patty, and then the queen cup. Seeing this is what you had there, but this is just hollow. This is a hollow plastic lid. You can actually hear the air going in and out of it. There's the hole. So there may be a way to fill this with something, but I'm not sure if that's something we're going to do. This one also has the little inner cover, plastic clear inner cover with a little thing that flips open for the queen cell either to be there or there. It has the 4 frames also with the plastic foundation. Starter strip already molded into the frame, and it's one piece, so these don't come off or don't fall apart. And here's the feeder. This is the negative about this box. Is I'm not sure you can see that gap back there, but if small hive beetles wanted to get in there, that'd be a perfect place for them to live. There's a lot of room in there. It's solid on the bottom, but the sides have a fair amount of room. These are also empty. Looks like they've been hot glued shut with a little, but each front has a chamber, side has a chamber. These are all separate chambers, so potentially you could probably drill that out and figure out how to fill that with something. and this also has a little float in it, plus the extra entrance reducers. Actually, they're a different color entrance, not reducer, but dials. And you can see on the back here, it's all screwed together. So if you wanted to unscrew that, you could pretty much flatten those out. And it has the same bottom door as the other one. You can close it so it's on vent, or close it so that it's completely blocked off. Now the benefit of this one that I see is, at least me starting out, I'm just using a little paint opener to pop these off. A screwdriver would work too. Yeah, so the benefit of this one is the bottom board comes off. So if the bottom board comes off, you could potentially stack a second, third, fourth, and put a little colony in there and then let them build out frames for you so you can put them in the other ones. So I've got 4 of these to try, and I've got 4 of these to try. I ended up getting the green, blue, and red. Got a second red one. And on these, I painted the fronts blue, red. I've got a green and a yellow. And that'll just help them orient. Anyways, that's the comparison. Again, these are about $10 more. May have a little more flexibility because you can do a double deep, triple deep, quadruple deep, depending on which, if you're trying to get these frames drawn out. Of course, you don't want to go too deep too quickly, but it is an option to do that. The bottoms don't stack onto the tops of these, so there's no way for that to actually work. The whole bottom would have to come off for that to work on these, and it just doesn't work. They're not made for that. Even if you took the bottoms out, they don't fit onto each other. So these can only be run as a single deep. These can be run as multi-deep. That's the difference. Again, this one's, I got them for about $17. I think Amazon has these. This was $10 cheaper until about a week before Prime Day, and then they were the same price. These aren't available until about November. I got this from eBay. I got these from Lappy's Bee Supply out of Iowa. I think Shenandoah Bee Supply also carries these in just the blue color. And there's a couple other places. Amazon has them too, but Amazon's about $10 higher than everybody else. So, just wanted to show those details. I didn't think I saw those in anybody else's videos, so just wanted to share. Thanks. I want to point something out here. These frames are not the same size of these frames. So this frame, although it fits just fine in here, fits in here. This frame will not fit in there. It's too wide. Even if you bend the legs, it will not fit. It gets to there and it just kind of gets stuck. You're really forcing the outside edges. So I'm going to have to mark the tops of these bars with like a little dot or something so that I know that they stay in here. But these can easily go in here. So if I'm building out frames, I can keep putting them in here. But these are the only frames that can fit in here. These cannot. It's interesting. It's good to know though. Oh, there's something else I'll point out here. The little inner cover for this one also does not. It's perfectly sized for this one. And although it could sort of work, it's almost undersized for this one. I don't know if you can see the edges of that or not. It's really short on there. But this one, it's the perfect size for that. And it will not go on here because it's too big for the lid to shut. It sticks out beyond the edges. I want to point that out. This is set up with full 6 frames, no feeder in it. And then this is 4 frames with the feeder up top. Took the bottom off, just so we can see how that all sits together. Just locks in, just like that. And not sure if you can see in there or not, but it's pretty close to B-space between those frames, so it should be pretty good shape for them to build those out. So I ended up buying these. I like to use my clean castles because they are all one size frames, and I I prefer to doing it that way. But I still find myself with extra queen cells or extra queens sometimes. So if I can drop those queens in some of these mating nukes, let them go out and get mated, then if I lose some in my queen castles or in my other hives, then I can just pull out of here and just immediately put that queen into one of those other hives. Building a little bit more insurance into our queen raising and nuke building.